hit submit, it's gonna make a report like y'all looked at in the past at some point, right? With break it green, throw it green, yellow, and white. From here, all you do is take the export up here on top. It's gonna give you a download. You'll open it, and from here, you're gonna take all data. You don't need the titles. Anyway.
I hate when it does that.
Just tells me that the data's not lined up on the side because of that A, the exception. You take all your data. That's fine. Copy. It's not gonna hurt you to grab a bunch of white below because you're gonna notice what you're gonna need to do every day to make sure you don't have duplicates or data that's not here anymore. You're gonna wanna make sure you're always in the top, right here in I3. You're gonna wanna be pasting the data here as a value. Always paste as value so it pulls through just raw data. You're gonna paste it. You see over there on the right, everything updates. If you go down to the bottom, you should always do a check to go to the bottom of your data you paste. Make sure there's nothing left. Make sure there's nothing, no data left. If there is, you need to delete it, okay? So once you have it pasted, you've now put everything into this spreadsheet. It's gonna feed these other tables. You'll go to them on this tab, right click it, refresh. Go to the machine, right click it, refresh. Okay? Is that clear? So now you have data to work with. This is everything in the backlog. Scheduled, unscheduled. You can see up top, you can also select scheduled or unscheduled. Obviously, when you're looking at booking orders, I think you should keep them both selected because they still got to run. And the main purpose of this is allow you to know what dates you can book to. You have everything, even dates prior to current day. Current day will always highlight yellow, like you see 6/4 is currently. So the reason I do that is because to work the tool up top with the blue, green, yellow, orange, and light blue, you want to know what day you're on because you have to account for what you haven't run yet as well, right? Because you still have to make that up. So hypothetical, which we're going to see, we're going to work with our worst one, R1 is what you can see is booked up, right? So now when you have orders come in, you can run this report at any point in the day, update it, and then you have a work tool to find what date you can truly book to. And how you're going to do that. So say you get an order, this is hypothetical here, and this is going to be different for every order you get. Say something comes in and they want something on the 24th, okay? Right? It looks like you have capacity, right? 2,400 is all we got there. But what we're going to do to assure we have capacity, we're going to click 24, highlight all the way to 6/4. Down there at the bottom where it says count, it says 16. You see that? Bottom right. That's telling you how many days you're working with, okay? Right here in blue, you'll type in 16, okay? Your daily goal for machine, you're working with R1 equal, over here in column A, on R1, you see it as 39.6 per day, right? So you enter there. So the yellow is now going to tell you your capacity to run up to that day. You now know you need to figure out what your current backlog through that day is. So you're going to go equals sum. You're going to go, we were looking at the 24th, right? 24th all the way past the current day to what's actually out there to run, right? Because you need to make sure you account for all kicks that haven't run before today as well. Enter. Right here in you in the light blue, you now see you cannot book that day. You're still 14,000 kicks overbooked. So what do? You have to go out more days. This allows you to find that point where you actually have the availability to run. Does that make sense? Do you want to go through a couple more times just as repetition? Okay.
So is that
that 14,000 added to the 2,400 or the?
So
just
the 14,000, so you have, in yellow, you have what your capacity to run is based on where we're running daily.
Yeah.
In orange, you have what your backlog is through that day,
Okay.
currently.
Yeah.
Everything that's already booked.
So that 14.
So the 14, if it's red, it means you don't have any, red means you're overbooked. You have 14,000 kicks, you're still gonna be behind it that day.
Yeah.
If it's black, say we're booking 4,000 kicks and it was black by 3,000, you're still 1,000 kicks short. You could probably, you'd probably be okay there.
So that 14.
But if you're black, 20,000, you have 20,000 kicks, you can still book, and I would always try to push it as far back in that as
So
possible.
that 14,000 would actually roll over to the 25th.
Correct. So what we could do to find where we have capacity, so they sent it for the 24th, obviously, we can't agree to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Logically, we have to push back or something has to move. We can go here and say, if we want to look
17.
one more day, we put 17 here, that updates your yellow. But you also have to update your orange,
The 25th.
and if it was Z, you can go to AA, or a little work tool, you can go to where it changes to just the arrows that is diagonal, and
Where
drag
are you?
over one,
Oh, there you are.
and then enter. 140 overbooked
You
still.
lost me on that one.
I mean, you can do it.
Okay,
Well,
so
I could learn it. I could learn anything.
so you're looking at this formula in R1, okay, and you're trying to figure out what your backlog is through the day. We increased it a day, so we had to adjust the sum to equal to the number of days you're booking to. So at that point, you need to go out another day, right? Because you're still red. So we go back to K, go to 18. And you might not do it one at a time. You might do a couple because you can see your way overbooked. But 18, that updates 01 automatically, right? And then you go back to your R. You just increased it by a day. You went out to the 26th. So you go back to this corner where it changes the cursor to that diagonal arrow up and to the bottom. Click it, drag it one, because that takes it to the 26th. That's just affecting the formula. If you don't want to do that, just type in, instead of where it said AA7, just type AB7, the next column. Okay?
Yeah. No, the dragon will be easier.
And
Maybe I
then-
just missed it whenever you did it last time.
You do enter, and now you see you have 33,760. So to me, this tells me that we're currently booking based on our backlog if we don't make up anything over the next couple Saturdays, and that's why it's important to look every day, right? We can't book an R1 order until the 26th. And we only have 33,760 kicks to book. Once that's booked, we're overbooked, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is it workable?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, R1's the one that's in the worst shape, right? And we're going to alleviate some of that hopefully with R2, but you have to go off the data that's used currently. As things are run on R2, obviously, kicks are going to fall off of R1 as the backlog's closed out when it gets built, right? So that's the working tool of it. So to do a necessarily work instruction on that, I can kind of explain what each box is, but it's gonna change based on the scenario, right? What you're looking for. Because right now, if you look at, your 50s are universal. You're not overbooked on, well, you are overbooked on your 50s because you're running on the 4th, right? Down here at the bottom, you got 137. So if you get a 50 order, what I would be doing right now, let's work one for that. We get a 50 order that's for the 9th, okay? The 9th through today is 4 days, right? We gotta change our daily goal to make sure we're looking at 50s, right? But 50s are universal, so we're gonna pick the total of the two. Doesn't matter where you're booking on 50, they can both run on either one. That make sense? You're gonna enter. So that tells you your capacity through 4 days, which was the 9th, right? Now we gotta get our equals sum for the 50s through the 9th. So you're gonna come down here to where it's the total for the 50s and go through the 9th. Okay? Enter. Alright, we have 173,000 kicks we still have we can book on the 50. So we're
You didn't pick up your previous days. Am I looking wrong?
No, you're good. I didn't see. Good catch, Steve.
Man, I thought we was sitting pretty on the 50s.
I did too.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go change orders.
we're missing about 95,000.
So you gotta pick up everything. Sorry. Bad example there. Thanks, Steve.
Only reason I know, cause I just had, go with something with Sam. I missed something.
But you really have 79,000 kicks you can book on the 50s if you got an order for the night. Okay? So always remember when you're dealing with the current backlog through booking date, you gotta pick up what's prior to date. That'd be because if you miss it, you could still be booking and overbooking.
But hopefully Sam will alleviate that.
Huh?
Hopefully Sam, that'll be alleviated.
Soon it should alleviate, but if we use this and everybody uses this before they place orders, which you saw how quick it was to update it, right? Then you have to work through the tool to find out when you can book to and how much you can book to. So it's important if you're gonna be booking, since y'all are booking periodic throughout the day, as I don't think you'll have a set time that everybody goes in and enters orders, right? Right before you enter orders, I would always try to get this as up to date as possible. That's why having the tool to be able to update your backlog by using CTI's export, you can do it real time and have it updated. You saw how quick it was to update. It's not a long
And
process.
if anybody goes in to book an order and sees that there's a date that is in red and overbooked, that we need to bring that to my attention.
Well, right now you got a lot of red.
Well, I know.
But-
Like going forward, we get it cleaned up and.
But if this is used effectively, and it needs to be used effectively, this is the tool to help you book to what you actually have capacity. So we run out of these issues. So to the point of priorities, this is also going to help you tell the customer. So if they say they need to move an order, say it's originally due the 13th, this needs to be the message that everybody shares with the customer when they want to move something that's hot, okay? One, it needs to be worked through D, make sure there's no issues with scheduling, right? Second, if they want to move something from the 13th to the next day, so they want to move to the 5th, they have to move something from their orders on the 5th to the 16th or later. Nothing can be moved before that period. Now ideally they move it to the actual where we have capacity, because that's going to alleviate some stressor that we have where we're overbooked, right? We see we're overbooked. That is very clear. But if we can get them in the habit, okay, you want this hot, can you move this to, now you know the 26th is where we were booking to? If you can say, can we move this out to the 26th, you're alleviating pressure for the current number. So ideally, you're naturally gonna draw that number down. Now, if they say, no, they can't move to the 16th, that's what you need to do. But they can't be before the 16th if they're moving from the 16th. Does that make sense?
So, should some of those, orders on the 18th for the F2 be distributed elsewhere? Cause right now it's showing 102,000.
Well, that's why when I'm looking at the 50s, Bailey,
Yeah.
I would focus on the FFG wards. I would focus on that totals column. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, cause they go on both, I guess.
Because you can run them on either machine. It's the same machine.
Yeah.
We don't have anything that can only run on one, right?
And then you
It's
have-
like one order, one item.
Currently, you have some flexibility on the earlier days to make up a little bit of that on the 124 per se.
But like we got ourselves in a bad spot, because if you look at Bob's, in general, Bob's looks good, right? Right? But not really when you look at what you booked on today. So we're looking at one day on the Bob's, 134,000 kicks, right? Whoops. On the box, we have 134,200 capacity equals sum for what's booked through today. On the box, we're really overbooked 217,000 kicks. So we're booked almost, a day and a half more than what we can truly run. So now when you're booking for the box, you need to start looking out. I would say let's go to 3 days. Okay? And then we're going to take the sum out, and we're going to go an additional 2 days, right? Because you got today, tomorrow, and the 6th. That's 3 days. We're still overbooked. Right, so it looks like you can book, right? Looks like it,
But you can't.
but you can't.
And then that's not even taking into account the what's on the priority list.
And that's what I'm saying, when we're working through the priority list, we have to get in the habit of utilizing the tool to communicate, hey, you wanna move from this date to this date, you need to move something from here to this point, or further back.
I was gonna say, that's not even including the fact that you're only going back a couple of days where I know Sam and Keita have some orders that are a week, 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks late.
Where are they
It's
at?
not for the box.
No, it's just, I'm just talking about in general, we're only going back to,
Well, there's nothing else prior to the third, if there was stuff on the
That is pulled
27th,
from- That is pulled from the backlog.
this is the backlog. This is all with the backlog data. So all the stuff from the 27th, like you're talking about, that's the stuff that you're talking about that's old, that needs to be entered. There's nothing in the backlog that's older than that. And if there is, we need to figure out where is that, cause it's on the backlog.
I was gonna say, since it's not mine, I have no idea, but.
And if there's orders that aren't not in the system because we're waiting on tooling, X, Y, Z, that's gonna be where you get in a tricky situation trying to insert. To these dates they put once they hit here, because now you're looking at trying to insert something on stuff you already overbooked. Okay, so if we ever need to research an order, we can come here, right? Control F. 449676001-1. You gotta put the 01-1 because that's how the orders are. It's nowhere in your backlog.
You sure it didn't ship or something?
What's the order number?
4496760.
That order was completed this morning at 6:53.
So, yeah. So let's look at a different one.
So what's the oldest date that's
That was
still
the oldest
showing?
one that I looked at. So we got 456708401-1. You gotta put the 01-1 in the spreadsheet. It's not here. D.
What is it?
456.
Oh,
Four,
sorry.
5, 6, 7, 0, 8, 4.
Complete this morning, 11:47. What time did you pull that?
I printed it this
Right
morning.
before I came in here.
Oh, you going by your list or her list?
I'm looking at her list that she
Her list
has.
was early this morning.
So it can, so as soon as it completes, it shouldn't fall off the backlog until bills though, should it?
No, cause this
Or
is showing-
CTI is gonna, as soon as it's completed, CTI is gonna get rid of it.
Right,
Okay,
Yeah.
see, I'm used to, the backlog is different,
Yeah,
the backlog
yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
drop until the
true.
bill.
Yeah, for sure.
Is this useful, helpful?
I think it would be tremendously
I
helpful.
think it's amazing. I think.
It's gonna take time, and as you work in it, and I mean, I don't mind as you have
I don't
questions,
think we'll have any problems here on that.
I wanna, just, there's some things going on, but as you need help, just shoot me an email or come by my office. I might not be able to come and look at it with you right away. I'll try to. I hear you.
What?
But I want you to use the tool because we gotta get out, we gotta break the cycle. The cycle has to stop.
I think this is much more helpful than anything we.
Well,
they
well,
did.
I can agree because, I mean, this is built instead of you having to work with raw data. Without knowing how to use Excel, raw data can get confusing. So, I get that. But, we all have to utilize the tool or one person can screw the whole thing up. If everyone's not using it, we're gonna be in the same boat because,
Now, I
say
think-
Melanie doesn't know how to use it, she's booking orders, I'm just picking on you here.
Oh, no, you're fine.
She doesn't know how to use it, she doesn't have an understanding of it, and she's still booking like y'all have been booking, you're just burying
Sure,
you're
you
burying
can have
yourself
it.
further.
Sure.
So this is gonna allow you to, when you get an order, get the data, download it, check, and be realistic. So this is where we're at. And then
in
when they say,
turn, I think that's gonna help them with their backlog being more proactive rather than reactive.
well, yeah, and it'll allow you when customers come, what date are we booking for your die cutter? Well, we know R1's flat full, but can it run on R2? That's what you need to look at, or vice versa. Is R1 R1's overbooked, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it might be something that can run on R2.
We don't go
And
there.
if you do that,
Do, is our safety meeting today?
To make
To
up,
make up.
to make up.
Oh, no, you came into our safety meetings. You're
Perfect.
Yeah.
but if it can run on R2 and you know the tooling's set up to where it can run that way, then you can look at R2 and do it that way. It allows you to look by machine. That's the biggest piece of it. Like we saw with the box, we're really only, what did we say we were at? We were still overbooked at 3.
Yeah.
Let's go to 5. So instead of that, we're gonna pick up 2 more working days, right? Still overbooked. Box is overbooked. Okay. The 11th is the 11th.
The 11th is Sunday, isn't it?
So my question is why are we got things booked on Sunday?
Wait, hold on.
Right,
No,
so
no, it's not. It's Wednesday, sorry. I
Now,
don't know why I
It's
keep
at
going
ninth
back
I
to
just keep
May.
remembering
I keep going back
next
to
Friday
May.
the 13th is Friday the 13th.
Well, this also you can utilize it. So the 14th, we have stuff due on F1 on the 14th. This is the date. Why do we have things booked on Saturday? Saturday should not be a part of your calculation ever. So if things are booked there, you're already shooting yourself in the foot. So we need to get that 10,000 fixed. Because now you got the 14th built in here as it's gonna be one of your working days when you're looking at your days to work. Right?
Right.
So you're giving everything an extra day that theoretically is a day to make up and make this all better. So if you see something booked on one of those days, you need to, and if you ever need to see what's booked there, go to the number, double click it. This is an Orlando order,
Kada?
and you can see the order ID.
All out.
You can see that what order number it is on that day, and you can go work to get it put in the right spot. But we need those days to be cleared out. Kia,
What did
sorry.
you do to get that?
I didn't know it was you.
Huh?
What did you do to get that?
Double click.
Any number within in this spreadsheet, any number, if you wanna go see, well, tell them they get it Monday.
So I'll pull up
So if you
every
click on that
item
43,000
that's
It's on that day. So if you look here, if you wanna see everything on the die cutter, so it's all based on where you're clicking at. So right here, this is all the RDC stuff on tomorrow. It's booked. Those are the orders. Okay? If you wanna get rid of it so you don't have a messy spreadsheet, which you don't want a messy spreadsheet, cause you'll be clicking into it. And then if you just wanna look at just the F2, or just all the 50s, you can double click in any of these numbers and it'll tell you exactly what makes those numbers up.
That's what that's on, Saturday.
So now I'm curious, I wanna find out where our box is out to. So we're already looking at 5 days, right? Let's go look at 7 days. Cause based on that, 7 days should do it. 7 days, we look at it, now we go look here. We're gonna take 2 more working days.
Are you sure you're gonna go to the 16th? Cause that one's overbooked also.
And you're gonna say you're gonna start running those up, is what you're saying?
Probably.
get caught
Well,
up.
yeah, leave it right there. Let's see what it looks
But this is the working idea of it is now through here, you have 45,000 kicks you can run, but you know you only went out to the 13th. The 14th, we know Saturday. And we went to 7 days, but what did we do when we went to 7 days? We excluded the 11th, right? Because there's nothing booked for the 11th. So naturally, you look at where you're yellow. If you're not booked on Saturdays, which we're gonna get fixed, and now we went to here, it's really 8 days, right? That's why it's important to always work with the days up top, because if there's nothing booked, we took 2 extra days, but one of those days had nothing booked, so we really, at 7 days, should be looking here, right? Because that's 7 days, from the 12th to the 4th, that's 7 days. Okay, so we got 101,000 kicks in reality through the 12th. So you can really, it looks like you can book to the 12th right now. You need to keep an eye on the 16th, right? Because you're overbooked here, which you can look over in column A. You got 134,200. You can see you're overbooked already that day. 75,000 kicks. So really, you only have 25,000 kicks here, but you also can see right here you have some capacity if you went 8 days. So if you wanted to work on it and see how many kicks you have to work with, go to 8 days, update this through the 8th day, right? Take into account you're overbooked 75,000 kicks, you have 105,000 kicks you can book. Right, D?
Yeah.
Does the logic make sense? And as you use it, and as I come sit with you and we'll work through it, if you need me to sit with you while you work your orders a couple times until you grasp it, I don't mind. I might not be here, like I said, right away.
He
But
keeps looking at me until you grasp it.
well, you're the newest and you're the most unfamiliar.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as far
You're
as
not even
the-
up on the customer service list yet, man.
Actually, I am.
Not on that
Oh,
one.
no, that one,
Go
oh,
back.
that's cause John left me out.
So another big thing, and there's a lot more tabs that as we get better and actually understand how to use this, there's a lot more things we can do. Minimum order quantities, look at ag only. I mean, there's things we can do. Okay, ship dates, everything like that. I'm trying to keep it simple right now, and we can expand upon it and utilize it further as we grasp everything. The big thing I need your help with, because I don't think I need to go in and update everything for you guys. All these ones that have customers that have no customer service rep, like Fastback, Hayes Foods, Olom, looks like a bunch of new customers is what it looks like.
Yeah.
We need to go get a CSR assigned to these people.
We're not doing anything with Duso box, right?
Packaging is Sam, Olom is Sam.
But that's something that I can pull this from the system. This is just pulled straight out of the system. Right now, I have the MOQ at 39.5, just because that's standard. That's what Connors had. Is most of theirs. There were some that were different. But as we refine the process, that's something we can look at too to see if there's stuff that's booked outside of that standard. Because then we can start pushing back and say, hey, this doesn't meet your minimum order quantity that we've established. But we haven't even. I don't think we've even gotten to that point with our customers. And if we have, we can implement it. Okay, because the spreadsheet will tell you what's booked outside of what's standard. But let's utilize the tool for booking now and get rid of Saturdays.
Oh, I see it only shows up if there's something booked on there.
Yeah, so
We can't
that's
just-
why but when there is something booked, that's why it's important to look at the dates like we just saw. Because if you see something on a Saturday, that should be a red flag, especially from you states. That's something I think you should probably check every day. Hey, I see this is booked on Saturday, we need to move it to either Monday or Friday. And then communicate to the customer, hey, this got booked, and I'm sure y'all are sending confirmations, I think, to the customer. That means you've already confirmed it back on Saturday, so when you reconfirm it, you need to say, hey, this order got booked on Saturday, we had to move it to Monday, here's your new confirmation. And that'll make it to where it's a useful tool, because if you have extra days built in, you're gonna get in the same spot, because you're artificially saying you have days you don't have. Saturday should make Monday look better. The goal of this is to book to what an actual 5-day work week looks like.
Yeah,
And if we do that, we alleviate on Saturday. Saturdays alleviate moving forward. And then on Monday, when you run it, things should look better.
Yeah, we don't normally, never been an accident when doing some of the changes
Yeah.
for priority orders.
I'm not picking on you. Well, I am picking on
But you are.
And then if you just wanna look at, like I said, the raw data of what's there, here you can look at everything, and you can look by machine. And if you wanna look, die cutters only, that's die cutters only. Medium 50s, that's your 50s. Small FFG, that's your boxed. okay? If that's how you wanna look at it.
One of the things that I know that some customer service reps used to use this for a lot is they would sort it also by customer. So when you're interacting with Orlando or Moultrie or whomever it is, you can just look at their existing orders. If you're having to say, this is the list of things we can swap, or this is the list of orders, it's there in a list form, and it's also the correct order already.
Good point, Victor. So if you wanna do that, best way, I would say that your data's all here, everything's selected, right? Everything selected means it's fully colored in, okay? And if it's not, if you click one, it's gonna automatically select that. If you need all of it, control, click what you need, okay? Follow? So now you got everything selected, scheduled, unscheduled, all the machines, all the CSRs. You see obviously there's blank. Melanie, you need to get yours assigned to you, cause I don't see your name up there. You drop this customer list down and say you wanna look at Moultrie. You go here, you go find Moultrie. You can also type it.
Almost there.
Hit OK once you select just them. Now you got all your Moultrie stuff by due date. Everything they have booked. So when they're trying to move stuff, you can say, hey, so what order from, they want something, like I said, from the 16th moved to tomorrow. You can say, okay, what from here prior to the 16th? So they want to move till tomorrow, right?
You also know which machine it is because they're asking for a specific order, so the list will get shorter and shorter.
Right, yeah, you can do that too. But this is all orders. So then they want it on the R2, right? You can also do machine. And all of ours are listed down here, WR, R2. So here's everything booked for R2, which is nothing. So naturally you're gonna pick up R1, right?
Moultrie runs on R1.
Now you have everything on R1 and R2. Everything they have. So if they want something from the 16th moved up to tomorrow, you gotta pick something from tomorrow that's gonna move to the 16th or later. And here's your orders. Which one do you want moved? And keep in mind, if they want to move,
I gotta give Moultrie props, they already do an excellent job of, cause Scott watches all of that.
now a lookout right here on this column N, this is your kicks, okay? If they want a 12,000 piece kick order moved up and they're trying to move a 6,000 kick order, you need to say, oh, I need you to pick two of them. You need to move apples to apples, right? But this data, it's all here for you. Here's your kicks. Okay? But anytime you're dealing with filters, I always just give a rule of thumb. Always go back, select all. Anytime you do something with a filter in Excel, and go select all. If you don't, you're gonna be all out of whack. Okay? And all these other ones, this was Connor's sheet that we refined and made it for us. So all of their original data is in here. I can try to get rid of it, but it's not gonna affect anything, so I'm not really gonna spend the time to try to remake the whole spreadsheet and do it. Anything you want me to redo, clear up, go through again? Questions,
I'll just
concerns?
take a few times, I'm sure, with you to go through it.
And if anybody wanna go through it early in the morning between 7:30 and 8 before it gets crazy, let me know. And I can make sure I'm not doing anything those mornings.
And Dee's worked with this pretty frequently. This is the first time I ever worked with it, was yesterday when I actually opened it and figured out what it was doing. But
I was gonna say, I like the information and the logic makes sense and it looks like it'll be a good tool. It's just gonna be a matter of playing with
repetition,
it.
I mean, it's gonna take you
Yeah, playing
5, 6
with it
times,
enough
and
to-
once you learn how to use it. Yeah, you can, and that's what I suggest is, everybody, now that you've seen what to do, I'm gonna send you the one before I put the word, I'll go ahead and send this one, cause there was a column that had to get deleted that I had that's not in anybody else's stuff. I'll send you this one, and then once I put the work instructions, I'll send it again, but y'all in the meantime can practice and play with it.
With that one.
with this one, after seeing what we do, go practice getting CTI, pasting it in, updating and taking a look and trying to work to see where we should be booking to.
Well, I'm gonna try it out because I just got 7 retail orders again,
Awesome,
so I'm gonna get to try it out.
I just got some too.
awesome. So,
Are we still taking retail orders for the 50s?
We basically, was saying that we can take them, but they're gonna be the ones that get pushed back if they
Okay.
get pushed back and
Just wanna make sure.
they come last.
Okay.
Everybody else is a priority of something further.
So let's talk real quick about this. Are y'all done? I'm sorry.
okay.
About this, these peach boxes that were on, they said they're only getting 7,500 on a trailer.
I thought that was very odd, that's why I
Because
questioned.
as I do the math, they should be able to get 13,000 on the trailer if they needed to.
Right, and that's what we always did, that's why I'm like, well, something's not.
Cause you can get 41 units on the trailer at 330. I mean, that's 13,000 something. So I'm trying to figure out what the hell they're doing to only get,
70, he was telling me like 7,800 is all he could get on it, and I'm like. Cause I talked to Kyle, and then I called Leslie. And
You didn't send
like, this
pictures
is the
or
4 pound,
something.
she was saying that Statesville's getting 63,000 on a trailer. And he's telling me we can get 46, 48 maybe,
They double stacking or just single?
it's double.
yeah, making no
And he was
sense.
saying that that was at 150 a unit.
It says 165, 330 a unit.
Yeah,
330 a unit.
right, he said something about 150 a unit. I'm like, where's that
636,
come from?
636 divided by 62 is 10.25, somewhere in there. So I get 40 units on a trailer basically. 40 times 330 is, do the math.
He's talking about
Twenty,
the-
what,
he's talking about
Huh?
13,200.
There you go.
14 pound, the 4 pound fuzzy bilingual and the 5 pounds. He's talking about all 4.
So it's almost like they're single stacking the damn things.
Yeah, I wonder if he could send
Or
pictures so
unless
y'all
they,
could see
they're only
problem
putting
solve what it
150
is.
like he was saying, but that's not what the spec calls for at all.
How tall is the unit, dude?
Well, if they're only putting 150 in a unit, okay, that means you would be able to get, that may be what's happening.
Why would they not
Cause it sounds like half.
go by the, I mean, well, you seen the specs, they're all 330 or one's 330.
Yeah, it's a C pattern. It's a C pattern. Alright, let me find out. What you got, Dick? Got 300 tons?
No, I ain't even made it to 200. Right now we're at 168. I'm still at it.
Is that because Josh and them at converting can't run it?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, y'all have that revision, use that file, play with it, learn it, utilize it, ask questions. And if you see something that needs to be refined, we can work for refining it. I'll work on work instructions, I'm not gonna promise you today, I'm gonna try to do it today. But you can come ask questions in the meantime, and I can come show you how to run it, if you run into a problem. Biggest thing is make sure when you're pasting the data in, there's no data under, or you're gonna have data that's misleading. Cause you're gonna have duplicates or extra orders that shouldn't be there.
And make sure you start with the exceptions column.
Yep, start pasting in exceptions all the way over. You grab the data, you don't need headers. So, good?
Easy enough.
Sweet.
You said you might
He said,
send out
They said-
something that shows like
but it's B.
step by step how to get in
For
there
the
or
fuzzies.
whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna work on that.
Okay.
By that one,
Yeah, I just.
God bless you.
it's 2x2, it's 40 by 40.
Yeah.
But he didn't, did he specifically say
There's
fuzzies
no,
there?
there's no reason
He just
those
said
pallets don't
peaches.
stack the way that they should stack.
Right, the 4-pound fuzzy bilinguals are a B stack.
Like the four.
It's four.
Yeah.
2 by 10.
We had just overheard
Oh,
Robin say that
the
they were.
bilingual, that's probably, okay, well, that's more like a little.
Well, that's what I'm
bit.
saying, he didn't specifically say an item, he said the peaches.
He's talking about the 5 downs, is what Josh said.
Oh, okay.
But Moultrie, I know they've always shipped 12,000, I mean, I think they've always shipped 12,000 per load.
In my last, did we lose someone? No. And the last thing, since we're all in here now, let's try to keep all scheduling, booking data with this team. Tom, Marvin, and I are here to handle fallout when customers are pissed. Because naturally, we're gonna piss some customers off. We can deal with pissed off customers, but we can also have the data now and the reason behind. So if you hear customers pissed and they're gonna, try to take it above you, the only thing I ask, just give us a heads up. So we can have the data to substantiate why we made that call. We'll back you up. But I need this team working together to schedule this plan. We don't need, Moultrie needs this or whoever needs this. And then we try to come make decisions outside of this team. Okay? We're here to help. I'm not saying that if you can't make a call, that it can't come to us, but customer service has an issue, let's first go to D. D the same way, if you have questions, first go to customer service on it. And let's keep it all here. So we can start building that collaboration, because she knows how to schedule a plan, y'all know how to book orders. Let's just make sure that makes sense together. Okay? That's a big thing. We don't need, because Tom's gonna get the data and all he's gonna hear is customer yelling. So naturally, he's not gonna say, yeah, let's put it here. And then you're screwing 20, 30 different orders. Like I was talking about yesterday. So, I know customers are gonna be mad, I get it. We can deal with being mad customers, but I'd rather be honest with them. Okay? Let's try to hold what we have in-house and be honest with what we actually can be. Now we have something that's hopefully a better working tool that everybody can use. Okay? We good?
Good.
Sweet. I'm gonna go do new hire paperwork.
I'm gonna do new hire what?
Paperwork.
It was Thursday, Ryan submitted a ticket for Ben to get his login. And it wasn't here Friday.
Holly has worked on getting my access to be able to do those again.
Okay.
And as soon as I have it, I can follow up and figure it out. I don't
I'm
even
sure it's gonna get timed out, because it's not hard.
I'm sure it will, they'll yell at us and
Okay.
it's fine. I can go
Just
that.
giving you the heads up.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
I already missed.
Thank you.